not. Imagination thus includes more than the capacity to form those mental constructs that we normally consider to be imaginative. It includes memory and sense perception as well. Since it is clearly impossible to get around in the world without this, Spinoza conceives that it is in this way that I know almost all the things that are useful in life. That said, Spinoza consistently opposes imagination to intellect and views it as providing perception.
Right. He's going to reject that reason.
His preferred terminology
to defeat
ideas
emotion.
of the imagination are inadequate.
He's rejecting
essential for getting around in the world, but they give us a distorted and incomplete picture of the things in it. To understand why, it is useful to begin with sense perception. That is the most important form of imaginative perception.
But he's rejecting
from this form that all others derive.
Oh, so I get it now on breath. What it boils down to, what breath, I'll just say boils down to.
His breath would just be another external
the pure
body.
Form of behavior.
So it is body. But the body is what the idea of any mode in which the human body is affected by external bodies must involve the nature of the human body.
By the physical,
and at the same time the nature of the external body.
Or the imagination.
So the breath is just part of the lungs.
So what you're saying is, what I'm saying is that what breath boils down to is a pure form of behavior. So behavior is developed by the physical or the imagination, but never both at the same time. Now that does not make sense.
Each thing, as far as it can by its own power, strives to preserve and being. The correct interpretation of this principle is far from clear, but it appears to posit a kind of existential inertia within mode. Each mode, to the extent of its power, so acts to resist the destruction or diminution of its being. Spinoza expresses this by saying that each mode has an innate striving to preserve and being. The striving is so central to what a mode is that he identifies it as a mode's very essence. The striving by which each thing strives to preserve in its being is nothing but the actual essence of the thing. Though a bit mysterious as to what it means to say that the striving of a mode is its essence, this identification will play a key role in Spinoza's ethical theory. Among other things, it will provide the basis upon which he can determine what is involved in living by the guidance of reason. Spinoza tells us that the model of human life, the life of the free man, is one that is lived by the guidance of reason rather than under the sway of passions.
See, it should never make sense.
However, unless
it is chaotic,
it is the
it forms from emotion and non-emotion, which exists alongside the physical imagination. To breathe is to be alive and nothing more. To not breathe is not to exist
for preservance.
But from its beginning breath,
nothing contrary to nature. It demands that everyone love himself.
In Psalm 74, Yahweh is said to break the heads of Leviathan in pieces. So, like, capitalism is the opposite of Christianity and of Judaism and of Satanism. Of all the religions. No. No. I know it's based on Protestant. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, capitalism is non-religion. It's not religion. It doesn't fit in any religion that has ever come about, ever. Before giving his flesh to the people of the wilderness in Psalm 104, Yahweh is praised for having made all things, including Leviathan. He is called the wriggling serpent, who would. The Rigling serpent, who will be killed at the end of time. Okay, I'm looking it up. All right, the word empirical denotes information gained by means of observation and experiments. Empirical data is data produced by an experiment or observation. A central concept in modern science and the scientific method is that all evidence must be empirical or empirically based, that is, dependent on evidence or consequence that are observable by the senses. It is usually differentiated from the philosophic usage of empiricism by the use of adjective empirical or the adverb empirically. The term refers to the use of working a hypothesis that are testable and observation or experiment. In the sense of the word, scientific statements are subject to and derived from or experienced or observation. The standard positivism view of empirically acquired information has been that observation, experience, and experiment serve as neutral arbiters between competing theories. However, since the 1960s, the theory of natural arbiter maybe not because theory dependence of observation means that even if there were agreed methods of inference and interpretation, scientists may still disagree on the nature of empirical data.
So that was the next one after what you were talking about, reason.
Do you mean empiricism? I think you mean it's a philosophy, a theory of knowledge, which opposes other theories of knowledge, right? Such as rationalism, idealism.
What you were saying, rationale or reason, and also rationalism.
It's pure thinking, but both empiricism and rationalism are individualist theories of knowledge. Whereas historicism is a social epistemology. I'm a little lost on empiricism, dude. I thought
they said epistema, right?
I thought it meant something completely different.
Well,
I thought it meant something completely.
You gotta get philosophical on it. You're like empiricist. It's not
I know.
Empirical, but empiricalism is empiricism.
It's John Locke, dude. It's fucking it's Leviathan, dude. It's the Leviathan, right? Right?
I wouldn't call it the Leviathan, really.
The Leviathan, isn't it? Isn't that what John Locke was?
What will really lead a man to greater perfection, and absolutely that everyone should strive to preserve his own being as far as he can. This indeed is necessarily true.
Right. Which in Judaism, the preservation of life is important. There's two, and compassion. So you're having compassion, and you're having the preservation of life. You know, but then again, you can always argue in Judaism. You've got one thing which is beautiful, which is the preservation of life, and you've got one thing that's beautiful, which is compassion. Okay, that's one side. But in Judaism, there can be peace. Okay, but this is the rub. Okay, of the Bible, the rub. I wouldn't say of the New Testament, but definitely of the Old Testament. And that peace is not always the absence of violence. Okay? And that's where it sneaks in and curls its tongue, around the honeybee stinger, and it sucks it dry, in the name of Billy Corgan kind of thing. is that you've got compassion and perseverance, right?
We are to act in accordance with our nature. Our nature is identical to our striving to preserve and being. Reason prescribes that we do whatever is to our advantage and seek whatever aid is.
Fuck you talking about, bitch? It's only a one night stand. I don't plan on seeing your ass no more. Fuck out of here. And I could do without the material things. I just hate all this drama the material brings. It's just me against the world, that's how I feel about it. Never use my heart cause I can't feel without it. Chiefin' on medical, pack the bowl up while she roll up. Skinny nigga, but my money swole up. Feeling on her ass like hold up, changing her mood like bipolar. Cause at first I had my hand up her skirt. Now she talking about homeboy, let me smoke with you first. I feel like that's not how it works. You can't roll with the crew one day and expect to get perks. Always give you more, never less is what you expect. You want a relationship, girl, I just want good sex. No love, heart vacant, shallow thoughts overtaken by this money that we making. So the smartest decision is to end all ties and keep living. Getting money and fucking bad bitches is the mission. We're incompatible, left you behind like a lateral. Showed you a good time and took your heart as collateral. Told you from the start, don't fall for me, I break hearts. I'm sharp, sure I left a mark. Shoot that pussy like a bullseye and hit it like a dart. And you far from understanding all this bullshit you can land in. Telling me I'm what you want when you know you're just a stand-in. Undermine the things you usually examine. I enjoy the country life, but I hate these girls in Cameron. But I love the city life, getting done without the pity fights. I usually don't love them, but one day I hope they'll fix me right. That's the shit that I dream for, but this world is full of fake bitches and mean whores. In this day and age I need someone to lean towards. I don't love them, but you could always mean more.